Welcome to 100 Yards of Football, and this is our Football Legends Profile segment. I am your host, Bobby Butler, and today we have a special guest, a former teammate, former roommate of mine. Let me introduce him by showing a small highlight reel.
Flashy.
The number 3 return ace of all time, Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Billy White Shoes Johnson, he was the first of the great return men in the NFL.
You want us to go after it, you want to return? Return. Billy Johnson will field this one.
He was the first returner that developed a strong identity. Billy White Shoes.
White Shoes. White Shoes?
A little feller they called Billy White Shoes.
You have to have a nickname. I mean, that adds to it.
He was wearing the low-cut white shoes, which he probably painted himself because I don't even think they were selling white shoes in stores.
It perked your attention because you never seen that before. It was something that was fresh. It was something new.
Nobody had seen anything like him.
Billy Johnson, here he goes again. Billy Johnson across midfield. He's still on his feet.
Nobody knew who Billy was, but it didn't take him long because he was an instant hit.
An electrifying return by Billy White Shoes Johnson.
He was a little small guy. He was about 5'9". You couldn't catch him.
Little number 84, Billy Johnson, a slippery escape artist who can turn a simple punt return into a geometry lesson.
Best way to describe it is trying to catch a hummingbird or maybe a lightning bug because Billy was everywhere.
Whenever I get the ball, I don't know where I'm going or what I'm going to do. I know I'm supposed to go.
I don't think half the time the guys blocking for him, they knew where he was going.
He didn't just get the ball and go. He'd move, he'd reverse his field, he'd come back.
If he goes to the right, don't chase him, because he'll be coming back.
Johnson at the 30, 20, touchdown, Billy Johnson.
Somebody said he could stop on a dime and he could leave you change.
He had that juke, if you will, that the first guy missed, and then he was off to the races. You were just chasing his shadows.
Johnson off to the races down the sideline. He's still on his feet.
When he'd get his hands on the ball on the punt, everybody stand up. He never hesitated. On his first step, he's going full speed.
Get up! Get up! Get up! Held it!
Billy White Shoes was more of a showman.
I remember Billy White Shoes as one of the first guys that kind of celebrated after he scored.
Touchdown, Billy Johnson!
All of a sudden, you started to see a little bit of entertainment value coming to the NFL.
Billy White Shoes Johnson, the funky chicken.
The funky chicken. The funky chicken.
Oh, no, not the funky chicken.
The greatest celebratory dance in the history of the NFL, without a doubt.
Call him what you will.
This Michael Jackson in cleats.
Gene Kelly in cleats.
You just wanted to see him do the dance. I love him doing his little thing with his legs going in and out.
Where his legs would do this, and he'd do the splits.
And then he did the splits. He came down to the ball, and then he lifted up and he brought it back and flipped it behind his back.
Well, I would say right here, you've got to go to Billy White Shoes and let him do a little dance.
Unbelievable showmanship.
To me, still the best.
Fans loved him. His teammates loved him. Opponents hated him because of the funky chicken.
People remember the dance, but he was a really good football player.
In my mind, Billy White Shoes Johnson is the greatest return man ever. He should be number one. In fact, this list is a sham if he's number 3. He should be number 1.
All right, my man, my teammate, my roommate. Welcome to the show, Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. Thanks for thinking about it.
Well, absolutely, man. I tell you, over the years, man, we had so much fun. But let me ask you a question. So everybody know about the white shoes when you were in the NFL. But when did you first start wearing white shoes?
I started wearing them in high school, Bobby, really. My junior year. And of course, it wasn't there. And I had things painted up. Well, actually, it died. Took it to a nice little shoe shop, repair shop. He stripped the black, the dye off of the shoe, which was originally black. But he knew how to do it right. And they looked like they were store bought. But I took 2 pairs just in case for backup.
That's funny,
school.
Well, it's amazing. A lot of kids think to make it in the NFL, you have to play Division I football. And you out of high school, because of your size, end up going to Widener College, the Division III school, but you made it happen for you and you ended up in the NFL. Talk about that a little bit.
I wanted to go to school, no matter how big it was or how small it was, where I could, of course, play football and run track.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to have to make a definite decision between the two. And when I met Coach Manlove, who was head coach at that time at Widener, he said, "Hey, look, you can run track, play basketball, baseball." He said, "We're small enough that we can allow you to do that." Because I was an all-world basketball player too. So
right, that's right.
No, but I said, "Hey, it was it for me." Has several big schools, but basically track.
Right.
So I decided to go there, and it's just fun. I got a chance to get the ball. That's the nice thing about a small school. Sometimes you find a way to find your niche.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what happens after that? And that's what I did at Widener. I was fortunate enough to have good teammates, good coaching, and especially with a good head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Made it all happen.
That's good. That's good. So here's a question I have for you too, because a lot of people, when they look at football players, and especially when they see you play, they say, "Well, he was quick." A lot of people really don't know how fast you really were. Tell the people how fast you ran the 100-yard dash back in the day.
I ran a 10.2 was my best 100-yard dash, and 40 was like a 4.34. I've only ran that about 4 or 5 times. I can say that's hard to do. Those guys run it every day. I commend them for being able to do that.
Absolutely.
Well, you know how that
goes. Okay.
Have to.
Right. So you start wearing white shoes in high school, then you wore them in college, then you wore them in the NFL. But you were not the first NFL player to wear white shoes. There's another guy from the state of Pennsylvania. Named Broadway Willie Joe Namath, right? He was the first to wear white shoes. And it's amazing, right? That one thing I can say about the state of Pennsylvania, Billy, that there are a lot of great football players from your state. Because I'm telling you, when I look at you, bro, you're from Florida. You're not from Pennsylvania. The way you run
where Joe came from, they played, so that's in the western part, maybe in the central part near Cincinnati also. They played some outstanding football. I mean, with Joe, then you look at Joe Montana, all in that area from Aliquippa, PA, that western part of PA, man, because those coal mine regions, you want to get out of there. And that's what, basically they play good football. Now, where I'm from, Philadelphia area, I'm from the East Coast. Basketball was always there, claim to fame, but they still had football players. Leroy Kelly's was from that area. Goes to show. Oh man, there are a bunch of the running back for Ohio, played for the Houston Texans, Tennessee Titans rather. Oh gosh, what is his name?
Is he there now?
No. He's finished in the 90s. Ohio State went to Valley Forge military prep school first.
Okay.
Before he went to what is his name? Looks like Willie Strode.
Eddie Jordan.
Eddie Jordan.
Is it Eddie Jordan?
He's from
right.
He's
exactly.
from Philadelphia.
Wow.
So we've done our fair share.
Yeah, you do. What about Dan Marino? He's from somewhere in Pennsylvania. I don't know. I think he's from Pittsburgh.
Of Western PA, up there, I think somewhere near Joe and Montana and Joe.
Right. Wow.
But that's in that region where they all can play good football. I mean, that's hard to those real man football for high school players.
Right. That's incredible. So here's my question, right? So you were not just the white shoes, but and let me say this about the white shoes. I'm gonna be finished with the white shoes. You know what branding was before branding even was a thing, right? I mean, hey, audience, I want to tell you this right now. Billy White Shoes Johnson do not own another color pair of shoes in his closet. Everything in his closet is white. He don't have a black pair of shoes. He don't own his house shoes are white. I promise you.
Yeah, for the most part. It's funny
That's
you
cool.
say that.
So Billy, all right, the showmanship, the funky chicken. All right, so let me ask you this. Why the funky chicken? Because I know there were a lot of dances. How did that hit?
That was an easy dance to do, and I made a vow, again, taking a dare, just like I took a dare to get my shoes dyed white and to try and showcase a little bit. The night before we played the game, I told the guys, man, if I score, I want to dance. And it was a big game for us. So I had to say something. And whenever you tell ball players you're going to do something, they're going to hold your feet to the fire.
You better do it.
So I said, what am I going to do? I didn't know what to do. And I remember watching Rufus Thomas on Soul Train or something like that, I think. Soul Train, if I'm not mistaken, or one of those shows. And I danced. I got in the end zone. That's the first thing came to my mind. Funky chicken. It's easy to do. And that's what I started doing.
Well, since we talked about it, let's give folks a little bit of Rufus Thomas.
Regular style, you know that, see?
That's Stack's record. Well, I tell you what, man, it was nothing more exciting for me as a teammate, man, to especially on punt returns. I was outside stopping the gunners from going down to block for you on special teams. And man, when you were put in the end zone, man, it was nothing more exciting and more joyous for us as a team to watch you dance. And so,
and Bobby, that's good because like you said, team. That's what I felt. I felt as though if I did my job, everybody else was doing their job. Absolutely. All I had the easy part. I had to, see where they're coming from, but to stay on my feet long enough, I'm going to take it. Get some good return yards or even in the end zone. But it was really a team effort, even when I was with the Oilers. And that's what I love about it. You guys wanted me to score as much as I wanted to score, and that's what makes a good return guy.
Well, I'll tell you what I learned in Atlanta. And so one game we were playing in Fulton County Stadium, and we were blocking, and then all of a sudden you disappeared. And everybody stopped blocking, and next thing you know, you came out of a pile, right? And so after that game, I remember me, Earl Jones, Kenny Johnson, because they were out there too helping you block. Yeah. We said, we got to make sure we continue to block no matter what, because Billy is never down. He may come out of the pile, right? And I especially remember, Billy, the great game you played in New York, man. That was an incredible game. A rainy day game back in 1983 in the old Shea Stadium against the Jets.
Yep.
And you turned that game up, man. I think now, I know you had a receiving touchdown in that game. I know you had a punt return touchdown in that game because I was out front with my hands up like this, as if I had the ball, right?
In the traffic cop.
I was the traffic cop, right? And then I think you took another punt almost to the end zone. So you turned that game around, and talk about to us the impact of special teams in the game.
There's no quicker way to turn a game around to get to stop momentum from the other team and to give your team momentum. I think it's an exciting part of the game that fans want to see what's going to happen. Is he going to take it all the way, or even for a kicker, is he going to make it? And if you got a good special team, you're always going to have a good cover team to block kicks and block punts. So it's, to me, if they would ever phase that out, I think you would lose football. I really do, because it's that exciting for the game. We used to say, but everybody now knows it's so important that you get starters. When I was with Bum Phillips, he had starters on the return teams and on the cover teams. He says, if you get tired, I'll give you a blow, but I want the best man out there. I think he got that from who used to think like in Marv Levy. They put a special price on special teams.
Right. Well, I tell you, it's amazing, right? It's so amazing. So I want to ask you this question. Now, we know you're a great dancer. The funky chicken, to this day, Billy, you may have some young folks who don't know your name, but every time you see them on TV on a commercial scoring a touchdown, doing something, they always do the funky chicken, right? And so, but if I ask you this question, now I want to ask you this question because I know you and Barbara, both of you guys can tear the floor up on the dance floor. I've seen both of you guys in action dancing, right? and Barbara can dance just as well as you, right? And so let me ask you a question.
I taught her.
If we can, huh?
I taught her. What do you expect?
You taught her? Oh. I'm gonna ask you that, right? So let me ask you this question because you were such a great dancer. I remember back in the old days in Atlanta, we used to go to this nightclub called Mr. V's, Figure 8, down on the South Side, and they had a dance part, and then they had a club part, right, where bands would come in. And I know you love music, and I know you love groups. So if you could join any group from back in the day, 60s, 70s, who would it be?
Oh, gosh. It would definitely be Manhattans.
That's who I thought you would say. That's who I thought you would say.
You know, and the other than that would be, after that, it might be the Dells or the Howard Melvin Blue Notes.
Howard Melvin Blue Notes. Hey, look, ain't no shame in your game with those three right there. I promise you right there. All right. So let me say this. I want to tell you also, when I was playing with you, I remember when you came in 1982. That was my second year. And I remember how excited I was because, you know, we had just lost Wallace Francis. He went into the ministry, and we picked you up. And thank God the 49ers didn't pull the plug because I know they were looking at you as well. Hallelujah, because I would have hated to have to play against you, man. But you came to Atlanta in 82, and I tell you, I learned something about you early, your work ethic, right? The way you ran your routes, how hard you worked in the offensive period. But here's the thing that really touched me, how hard you worked when it was defensive period, because back, you know, in those days, we had no practice squad. We had no guys to give you a look but your own teammates. And you're talking about 50, 52, 53-man roster. That's not a lot of guys, right? And so we have to give you looks when it's in your period. And I'm looking at you and I'm going like, man, this guy got so much energy. How is this guy? So I don't know if you remember this. So after practice one day, I asked you this question. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what Billy said. I said, Billy, first of all, I want to know how old you were because I said, this guy is a lot older than me. And I said, he's running circles around everybody. His energy level is this high, right? And so I asked you how old you were, and you said 29. I said, oh, okay. And then when I walked away, I started thinking. I said, well, maybe he's 29, I'm 24. I said, wait a minute now. When I play youth football, I should do the white shoes dance. He can't be 29 years old. I thought that was hilarious. But what you taught me, Billy, I never forget. You took me to the room and you said, Bobby, he said, listen, the first thing you got to do is you got to take care of your body. And you started talking to me about how you ate, right? And you didn't eat junk food. You didn't eat fried food. You didn't eat all these things. You didn't drink calories. You know, you drank water. And then you told me about supplements, you know, herbs and natural herbs and minerals and things like that. And so I was so impressed with how you used to get around. I said, you know, I got to try this. And I'm thankful I did. It changed my life. Even to this day, you know, I eat a certain way. And it started, you know, playing with you. And so I want to thank you for being a real pro and turning me on to that. When I changed my diet, Billy, in 1985, I never forget, I can play a whole game and really it seemed like I had no lactic acid buildup in my legs. I was never sore. Mm-hmm. You know, I was never sore. And I owe all that to you for your knowledge and that. Where did you get there from way back in those days? Because, you know, back then we didn't eat that way as a team. We ate fried chicken the night before the game, team meals. We had steak and eggs for pregame meals. Right? We did.
Right, yeah.
So how did you get to that?
Probably, you know, after my surgery, you know, had 2 knee surgeries, and you always want to try and come back and be the best you possibly can be better than you were before, if at all possible. And I just picked up over the years, listening to different people, going to different seminars, because I was around some weird people in my youth. So, but they were good people, you know. they were a little different, and a lot of things they said were true as far as taking care of the body and take care of you. Like them old veterans, when I saw how they played sometimes, what they did, they were run extra. One of the things I found out from them, especially in practice, is the more you're taking the reps from the young guys, the less they know what to do on the field. That was number one,
right.
which is true.
That's right.
But also,
That's
you're
right.
doing it so that you can stay ready and learn to play other positions as a process. But I basically picked it up from other guys that were out there who've been in the league when I came in 8, 9 years, and they wish they had did it earlier. So I just said, hey, why wait later in life to do it? Start doing it when I was, my second, third year in the league. Made all the difference.
I mean, that's incredible. It made all of the difference. I know it did in my career. You played 14 years. I played 12 years, and it had to do with all the things that you taught me to help me become a pro. And so I just want to thank you for that. Let's talk about another thing that you're known for around circles of your friends who played with you is your workouts. Let's talk about your workouts because everybody know about Jerry Rice's workout. Everybody know about Walter Payton's workout. But let's talk about Billy White Shoes Johnson's workout. Let's talk about that hill at Norcross High School.
Yes, we are Andrews. Well, Bobby, I got that from when I was with the Houston Oilers. And
Okay.
Tom Williams was there. Tom was one of those cagey guys. All the stuff they do with the bungee cords, all the stuff they do with the ladders and all this. Tom was so far ahead of that stuff. And all he did everything. Tom said this: anything you do on a flat surface, you can do on a hill if the hill is in good condition. Number one. And number two is if you're willing to try it. And we did. As far as the PNF stretching and all these so-called new things, we did that back in the 70s.
Right.
So, and I said, man, because I realized how good it was for me when I got injured. I had been doing the hill prior to that. And when I did it, I went over there and I came back, didn't miss a beat. I said, hey, I got to incorporate that. And then you look at the track workouts we used to do. Had a real good track coach, an excellent track coach. And nothing's changed from then till today. So I was fortunate. And you just worked hard. You always challenge your body.
Absolutely.
There's always a plateau or you level off, but you can push it a little bit more.
Wow.
I'm not going to say how bad we used to talk about people come out and do it, but it was challenging. It was challenging. Guys would do, they wouldn't come close to doing it today. Things we did back then.
No. I remember going to that hill with you and doing your workouts, man. And we'd start out maybe 4 or 5 guys. 2 days it'd be me and you. Everybody's going home, man. It's like, dude, man.
And I think it got worse when Stacy and Floyd started lying on us.
Well, Floyd didn't want to work like that, no way, right?
Oh, yeah.
Floyd didn't want to work that hard.
Floyd wasn't going to go far.
Well, it's amazing. Even George Thomas didn't want to do that hill like that, right? Later on in life, right? And he was a speed guy, right?
Oh, was he? Can you imagine what could have happened had he did that?
Oh my God! I think the guy was a legit 4.2 guy.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Right.
No, that's what I call it.
Well, I tell you, great players like yourself, like Darryl Greene. Darryl Greene played maybe about 20 years, I think, and it was all due to track workouts, right?
He did that, and also he was one of the many who used to come to the hill at Tom Williams Hill to work out. I mean, there was a bunch of us we had guys, our nemesis from Oakland, from Cleveland, to come out and work with us for about a week in the summertime just to see what we're doing. And Darryl was one of the main components of those workouts at that time.
Wow, that's cool, man. That's cool. Well, I tell you, we want to show one great clip of you, Jeremiah. We want to show that clip of you. Great play, in my opinion, the greatest play that I experienced from you with the Atlanta Falcons. Jeremiah, if you got it, go ahead. Let it play. You got it?
Hey, sorry guys, it's going to take me an extra second. They didn't like that version, so give me a couple more minutes, and I'll pull it back up, and I'll cue you back in here.
Okay, we'll continue to talk until you do that, right? So yeah, man. So you know, back in the day, I just tell you, it was a different time. How do you view football today? I know if you were playing today, I mean, your ability in the passing game. I look at people like Wes Walker and Welker and all those guys who start to catch 100 passes a season, and I look at how you played the slot position in our offense with Dan Henning in the one back set, playing that slot position, and you were end up that year, I think, NFL comeback player of the year. Just all that wiggle room for somebody like you was like taking candy from a baby. You know, I used to watch guys try to cover you, and I go like, man, they don't have a chance, right? So when we look at that, and we look at the evolution of the game as it is today, Billy, and when you got a slot receiver out there almost every down now, I mean, how
It's
talk about that.
To me, that part of the game has really evolved because normally you just put somebody out there and you're going to throw it either to one wide out receiver on the outside. But now inside, the guy can catch it, run a little bit. Yeah. It's an easier throw. You're going to get 10 to 12 yards because you have an option. That's why I believe corners sometimes in the league now, they don't want to go inside. Too much responsibility. Too much responsibility. But I think it would be an easy golly, I would have a good time playing in that position today.
I know you would.
And Henning was good at that. He just used guys who had the ability to get open in the, like most of our offenses are. You do what you do well. But in that position, it was just like hand in glove for me.
Wow. Well, let's take a look at that clip, Billy. One of your greatest highlights, in my opinion. How you remember that play? It was 2 seconds on the clock, man, and that was the only shot in winning that game. And here you go down. I guess you're trailing the play because that was your responsibility to look for the rebound, so to speak. And I think Paul Hodge and Stacey Bailey went up to attack it, and it came down and take it from there, man.
And I think it hit Floyd's knee. And
did it?
Oh man, this ball's still alive. And Stacey hit Floyd's knee. And I said, oh, man, I got a chance to do something with this.
Wow.
And, you're just trying to you're always taught when you start running, you want to spread them out, go as far as and fast as you can to get to a point so that when they start overflowing, you can cut back. But I looked when I started doing that because I was going to make them run me down at the farthest point. There were trailers coming down, and I saw the back of my eye. And, of course, our dear friend, our late friend, Arthur Dean, threw a block, took two guys out, which really got me a little bit more wiggle room.
Yeah.
And Stacey, I don't know what they were doing, but they were trying to do something. But everybody did. And she kind of shielded where the opposing players couldn't get a clean shot at me. And it just, I was just able to find the end zone. I was blessed at that time. So,
man, that was an exciting play, man. I'm telling you. I mean, that night, we were playing the 49ers, and the 49ers, they were the team back in the 80s. And we were in the same division at the time. And so we always had these dog fights with them, very physical. And that was the same night that Kenny Johnson made that great defensive play on Ronaldo Nehemiah that kind of gave us a touchdown when Blaine Geisler picked the ball up and went on in. And then, but we were still behind. And here you go at the end of the game with this great, phenomenal play. And the Falcons won a home game for the good guys on that play.
That also knocked them out of the playoffs, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Exactly.
Pull the trigger on your hand.
To this day, those guys argue about that play. He didn't get in. But if you saw it in slow motion, your knees never touched the ground. They never touched the ground. That was a good play. Well, look, buddy,
we were
man,
fortunate
thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us at 100 Yards of Football, and we love having you. You know, I really enjoy your friendship, and not only what you mean to me personally, and what you mean to me from a spiritual standpoint, being a brother in Christ, but just the man you are in your community in Duluth and in all of Gwinnett County, and everywhere you go, Billy, you represent us well, not only in professional sports, but you represent the Kingdom of God well. And so we just want to thank you for all you do, and thanks for coming. And so if you guys like the video that you've seen today, please share it. You know, share it. Let everybody see the great Billy White Shoes Johnson in action. And we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. 100 Yards of Football.